Good to be back out on the grass. Good to be back at it. And we talked a little bit last week about what we were trying to get done on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, kind of going back to basics, kind of a spring practice, fall camp type mentality, giving everybody an opportunity and taking a look at a lot of different guys at a lot of different places. And gave them a couple days off, and great to see them come back here a little bit more refreshed, energized. Got a good lift in, a good run out of them. Had about a strong hour practice today. I think the attitude is good. I think they're working hard. I think they're excited to have the opportunity to get back into game week again. So it was a good 3 days last week, and a good opportunity for our coaches to get some good evaluation and on a lot of different guys at a lot of different places, and then come back out here and start to put this game plan together for Louisville. But right now, really excited about the opportunity to get back into it. We have the second half of the season in front of us. There's still 6 games on the schedule, and we're excited to get back into it.
Skip, I know a lot can change between now and flying up to Louisville on Friday, but what can you tell us about kind of the depth chart you'll take into the week, and maybe what the biggest tweaks were in that?
At this point, I'd still say it's a work in progress. There were a number of different things that we looked at. I know Gary went down and we took a look at him at linebacker, and with some of the injuries, a lot of different guys got a lot of different looks. From as far as placing guys at different position, cross-training a couple guys, safety, corner, moving Gary down to linebacker we talked about. I mean, there's a couple guys that we've moved around, but I can't say any of them are definite or going to be things that are going to may necessarily show up Saturday. We'll still have to look at a little bit this week, but we're more than happy to talk about it as we get closer to the game. But right now, not enough definite to say, oh yeah, we've done this or done that.
Did you get a sense that just the idea of opening up in terms of telling the kids, hey, these 3 days are going to return things, was that in itself, I guess, the spark you wanted it to be?
Breath, fresh air, coming into it. Yeah, it was, and we graded every rep. We graded every rep last week. There's probably, most guys probably get somewhere between 60 to 70 team reps that we had an opportunity to grade, and then put the grades together and start to formulate the depth charts, and we'll continue with it this week. We'll continue grading this week. We got to find productivity on the field. I mean, we got to find productivity, and we got to put the guys in there. They're going to play with the heart and passion and energy and excitement and enthusiasm that it's going to take to come up with a win. And so whatever we've got to do right now to put the most passionate players on the field is what we're trying to do.
Skip, you get Clyde back out there tonight?
Yep, we had Clyde was back out there. Legist was back out there. I mean, great to see those guys running around full speed. Whitehurst was back out there. So this open date has been very good as far as, we talked about getting some of the bumps and bruises healed up from going through a long camp and then 6 straight weeks, and having an opportunity to kind of get refreshed a little bit mentally and physically, I think is a huge thing for us right now as a team, especially with what we've been through in the last 4 weeks. I mean, we talked about some of the mistakes we've made and being minus 11 in the turnover ratio and those type of things, and I think it's just as important that we get refreshed mentally as it is physically, but it certainly was nice to see a lot of guys out there running around again tonight.
Guys like Barrington Linares that just missed a day last week, all back healthy.
Yep, everybody. Really, I mean, even some of the long-term outs are starting to get not back, but are starting to get to go through some individual and some of those things. And I look at a guy like Anthony Hill that is starting to progress along and being able to start to get out on the field a little bit. Alex Mudd is another guy coming back from his shoulder. Those are guys that have been long-term out, like since camp.
Right.
So even they're some of those guys are starting to come back. So right now it's nice to be relatively healthy.
Skip, I imagine it's still fairly open, but what will your attitude be with punt returner going into this week, and how you look at guys there?
I want somebody that's going to catch a ball. That's first and foremost. I'm watching last year's film. We turned the ball over on a punt return last year, and that is where we're always going to put a priority from a punt returner. I want ball security first, and once we get the ball, then you want somebody that has the opportunity to make a big return for you. But right now, the guy that has caught the ball the most consistently in practice and in games has been Andre Davis.
Sure.